I'm Edward Smith, and I come from Denver, Colorado for this trip. And I retired there from the military and worked various IT jobs, and realized when I got laid off this time that they want certifications this time around, and I didn't have any. So I looked at different sources where I was going to be able to get something in a short amount of time that I could use for my interview processes and such, and that led me to here. The invaluable part was the hands-on experience with the labs that they give you, both in setting up a voice network, a wireless network, the security side, which I found interesting because the old style of a firewall is very intensive in programming things, and then you have the zone-based pairs. It's so much easier to program and much more flexible to do what you want it to do with, and hopefully you don't find too much of the old stuff still out there. The career training, I learned a few extra things that I didn't know about. My interviews up to this point have always been for low-level jobs. If you're going for a help desk position or something at the basic level, they're going to ask you some knowledge questions and expect you to know certain things and not a whole lot. They don't expect you to know the processes. And he showed a way of letting them know that you know the process as well as where to get the information, which I was doing the where to get the information part, but not doing the other part. So that helped out a lot. The tips on preparing for the jobs interview, there were one or two things on there I would not have thought of. It will make it an easier process. I hate job interviews. I've been lucky that in the 4 that I've had to go to since I retired from the military, they liked me and they hired me. But the trick is to get that face time. The hands-on experience with the equipment, the technology that you deal with, you can't get that even at some jobs that you're working when you're working that position. And that's something they ask. The admin part, all those are applications that anybody can learn, but they're asking you for 10 years experience, or have you dealt with it like it's something that's special. So now at least I can talk about those things and know what they are. Shooting for level 2 support, level 3 support for networking. I feel much more comfortable talking about it in an interview where I wasn't before. The career service that Jonathan is providing seems intimidating at first, but it's something that will help. And I like the fact that if I have a problem, or if I had a problem on an interview, I've got somebody to talk it over with that knows what it's like. That's fairly invaluable, because sometimes you got to have someone to talk it over to see what went wrong, what can you do to make it better. I appreciate the fact that he's there if I need to talk to him about the way interviews are going, getting some tips from him, and that little boost that I'm going to be getting from him to try and do some extra things that I may not do. So I think it's pretty valuable. Being allowed to go for the 3 certifications that I achieved on this thing, the voice, wireless, and security. Once I get my CCNA when I go home, I've got 4 certifications now that I wouldn't have had. That will help a lot, because every interview that I go on these days asks you what certifications do you have. And if you don't have it, it tends to shut down the conversation. If you're looking for a chance to deal with the technology, to work on your certifications and get a career training that may help you in your job search, and help with Jonathan afterward for that process, then it's something you're going to want to do. To think about it real hard, if it's something you really want. Make sure you know what is being offered up front, because it is a very stressful 10 days, and if it's not something you're motivated to do, and realize what they're trying to do for you, then it may not be for you.